Well, it's a lovely Saturday morning. It's the 13th of January and I'm back in Whalley. It's one of my go-to places because the moment I get out of the car, I'm on them classic cycling country lanes. So I'm just going to make my way through the town centre of Whalley and then head out towards the Aspinall Arms, over the River Ribble, towards Great Mitten, where I'm going to take a right at the Church of All Hallows and make my way down Church Lane. And I'm going to be heading towards the Yorkshire Dales today. You can't beat it this time of year. And I'm looking for a cafe near Cracoe. So along the way, I'll be passing through places like Waddington, Hellyfield, possibly near Ayrton, and Malham won't be too far away either. I'm a cyclist and I live in the Pennines, and welcome to my channel. Well, the whole idea of this ride was to cycle to a cafe in Cracoe, but I took a wrong turning, and we'll come back to that in a minute. So let's just call it cycling 100 kilometres in and around the Yorkshire Dales in January. And just looking at the map in more detail, you can see there where I should have turned left when I reached the B6265. But instead, I took a right, and having realised I'd made a mistake, I put my plan B into operation and headed towards Skipton, where I knew there was a good cafe called the Coffee and Clay, and I'd cycled 38 miles at this point. But let's get back to the ride, where we're underway. We're in Lancashire and we're making our way out towards the Yorkshire Dales. We've got dry roads and there's not much wind about, so come on, let's go for a ride. And last night I spent a couple of hours in the garage giving the old faithful Kona cooler a bit of a service. So I've now got two new tyres. I use Continental gator skins this time of year, and I've put on the front a 28mm and on the back I've got a 25mm. And I'm just hoping the 28mm tyre can absorb some of them impacts that I take on my daily commute in the dark, because some of them potholes I just can't see them. I've also got new brake blocks and the chain's been well cleaned and oiled. So I'll put all my faith back into this old bike and let's get it out on these classic country lanes. So we're going to get off Church Lane in a moment. This is where we'll meet the B6243. We're going to take a right. So there's my signpost: Basher Leaves, Whitwell, Trough of Bowland and Clitheroe. So we're going to stay on the 6243. It's called New Lane, and we're going to make our way towards Clitheroe. So we've done about 6 miles. We're on the outskirts of Clitheroe, and this is Eddisford Bridge. So I'm going to take my left here because there's a signpost saying Waddington, and that'll do for me. I'll tell you what, these new tyres are good. The difference, I can feel the quality in the ride. I feel nice and supple. You know, quite plush on the tarmac. And then I spotted this interesting bridge crossing the River Ribble. I might go over that. And the question going through my mind was it a good idea? Well, there's only one way to find out. Well, I'm not quite sure if this is what I had in mind, but I'm now actually cycling on the Ribble Way. Well, little did I know, it wasn't going to get any better. Probably not a good idea this, but then again, I've done loads of mountain biking in my time, so it's all part of the adventure. Let's keep going. Then I realised where I was. I was making my way towards Brungley Bridge, with Waddle Hall on the other side of the river. And at this stage, I was getting caked in mud, and the bike was covered in all kinds of cack, and it needed to be cleaned off. And that brings the hiker-biker part of this video to a close. So it's time to get back on the road, because the clock was ticking, and at this rate, the cafe would be closed. Well, I guess that's all part of the adventure. We're now back on the B6478 with Waddington ahead of me, Clitheroe behind me. And next up was Grindleton Brow. Now this is a steep little one, and it's the first big hill of the ride. Ooh, Grindleton Brow. It's got a right sting in its tail, that. The cyclist here. Hey up! Clitheroe Cycling Club there. So I better get my skates on really now. It's approaching 1 o'clock. I'm making my way now towards Wigglesworth. It's gradually uphill, ever so slightly, quite a way now. But I've been faffing, doing flyby shots, going cyclo crossing, and I'm way behind. And at this rate, when I get to the cafe, there might be no scones left. So, time and tide, it waits for no man. So I'll make my way now through these lovely Lancashire lanes, and then that's where I break through over the border into North Yorkshire, the Yorkshire Dales, and the continuation of cycling heaven. So this was Wigglesworth now, and I'd cycled 20 miles. And I was making my way towards Hellyfield, where I was looking for signs for the A682. I'm on this nice little narrow back lane now, it's called Flat Lane. So behind me is Wigglesworth, and ahead of me will be Hellyfield with the A682. Well, I'm going to briefly go on there. Funny because, you know, recently we've had the A683 Sedbergh, the 684 Sedbergh Kendall, the 685 Orton Kendall. Now we're on the 682 for a very brief moment. Well, this is a new road. I've not been on this one before. And on Google Maps, it's actually called Back Lane. Oh, it's gravelly as well, pick up, grass in the middle, twigs. And this brought me out at the free car park in Hellyfield, which I normally use for rides. I didn't realise I'd end up here. It was a nice little find. So this is the A65, and I'm going to go left at Hellyfield onto Malham Road. This is a wonderful little road. It'll take you to like Malham Cove, and it'll take me on to where I need to be, towards Waterburn. What a great little place this is. Now Waterburn is a lovely little village. I love that bend there, it's a great corner. Now I crossed over the River Aire. It was time to take on this little punchy climb of Calton Lane, which was 16% in places. And I'd cycled 27.5 miles at this point, and this section of the ride was quite lumpy, to say the least. So I've cycled 30 miles now. This area's Winterburn. There's a distinct smell of manure in the air, and I'm not far from the cafe. I rode again with Skipton Cycling Club for a brief moment. They caught me up on a flyby shot on that big climb. And we've had a bit of rain and some dirty roads. I'm speckled in cack. So there's the sign for the Way of the Roses. You can see the red and the white roses with Route 688 highlighted. We've got Cracoe 1.5 miles, Grassington 5 miles, with Gargrave and Settle not too far away. We're just passing over the level crossing here, which is where the old railway station at Rylestone was, and the line serves the local quarries nearby. And we're approaching the point now, which is where I wasn't thinking straight, and I turned right and headed towards Skipton, when the cafe was literally just round the corner. I don't know what came over me. Guess what? I should have gone left at Cracoe. So the original plan, that's for another day. So let's keep moving on. I'm going to find a cafe anyway, I need a bite to eat. Come on. I don't know. And there's the Coffee and Clay Cafe at the top of the high street. And it was way too late for a black pudding. It'd spoil my tea later on. No scones. All gone. Well, the truth is, the cafe was about to close. Mind you, it's 3 o'clock. Nevertheless, that cup of tea was spot on. And because they were out of scones, I had to invoke Clause 1A of the Cafe Cycling Code of Conduct, which states that you have free rein to choose whatever is available, and if possible, help yourself to 2. And so for pudding, I had this delicious portion of Rocky Road. Oh, that's good as well. And I'd also convinced myself that this would give me all the energy that I needed to complete the ride. But anyway, it was time to hit the road, and after all, it does go dark early this time of year. Good little cafe, that. Well, that were a good little cafe to go to. I've always used that, you know, over the years. It's a fallback cafe, really. I can't believe I made that error. You going through? I should have gone left, and then I'd have got to the cafe that I planned to go to today, but hey ho, I can't complain because anywhere around here is just great for cycling. It's a lonely place, is the A59. Especially in a bike. If you're in a car, it's okay because it's designed to get cars from A to B. But the hills, you know, they sap your strength. You've got to keep going though, and it's more of a direct route for me. I don't have to think as much either. So I'm going to crack on along here and make progress before the sun totally sets. It is January and you've got long nights. But I did set off quite late, but I'm not going to complain because I've had a great day out. Well, it's gone dark now. We're going to be about 60 mile this, 100k. The camera might make it look a bit lighter than it is. Yeah, just get. It's a skip to the cycling club coming past me again. My battery went flat.